Hello, well, spaghettis. Apparently this week's topic is sex and religion. I am actually demisexual, which thank you for Lauren for introducing me to that term because it's the only label for my sexuality that I really wear comfortably. And what that is, it's a type of asexuality, where I'm essentially asexual until I get into a really deep emotional relationship with somebody. And once I do have that kind of emotional relationship, then I will start considering the idea of having a physical or sexual relationship with somebody, but really not until that point. It's interesting because it kind of solves the issue that I've had my entire life where I'm asexual except when I'm very occasionally not for some people. And what that means in terms of sexuality, for those of you who have never heard the term demisexual, which is probably most of you because I hadn't, what it means is that, I've never fantasized at all about anyone or myself. I never feature in any of my fantasies. I've occasionally fantasized about fictional characters. Wow, that's kind of an embarrassing thing to admit, but it's true, but never about real people. It makes me super uncomfortable and gross. It also means that I don't actually find people, sexy. It took me a really long time to even really understand what that meant. I guess it means that, I would have sex with that person. That person is sexually attractive. And, because I never, ever have that kind of feeling about a total stranger or even, an acquaintance, I didn't really know what people were talking about when they called people sexy. And it also kind of raises the issue that, I wouldn't, know if I'm attracted to somebody until I'm essentially already in love with them. In terms of religion, I'm a Christian. I agree with most fundamental Christian philosophy. The actual Church of Christianity, I'm sometimes a little bit less okay with, but I could do an entire 5-minute video just on my opinions on the Church of Christianity and what Christianity has become in modern culture, so we're probably not going to talk too much about that right now. In terms of the conjunction of sex and religion, in my view, I do agree with the Christian and the Bible's philosophy on sex in terms that it is, meant for marriage, although I think that's pretty much the only constriction that it really puts on it. So this stuff other people talk about oh, masturbation will take you away from God. I don't think so. Also, in terms of homosexuality, I know this is a really touchy topic for some people. I think that there's nothing really in the Bible that speaks against homosexuality because, as Lauren brought up, the only times same-sex relationships are really brought up in the Bible are in the context of rape or in the context of religious orgies or in sleeping with somebody of the same sex when you're married. And all of those things, I think, don't really say much about, a monogamous, committed, loving, same-sex relationship. And in fact, I think you could argue from various passages in the Bible that because homosexuality is something that is genetic, this is basically proven, some people are either, born gay or they become gay at a very young age due to factors that are outside of their control, and that it's essentially impossible to change for most people. I think you could argue that gay marriage is probably actually very biblical because it allows people who have that kind of genetic urge to be in a relationship and to have that kind of fulfillment in their life. And I think that it should, fall under the same rules as regular marriage. And even if it's not specifically mentioned in the Bible, I think gay marriage is a hell of a lot more biblical than divorce, which is explicitly stated in the Bible as being unbiblical, whereas two people of the same gender getting married isn't really even mentioned. If you're going to say that gay marriage is horrible and is going to destroy the institution of marriage, then outlaw divorce. See how that goes. So those are pretty much my feelings on sex and religion, as much as can be talked about in about 5 minutes. So I will see you all spaghettis Sunday, I think. I'm getting better at this. My forehead is really shiny.